Some of them are attending their very first one and looking forward to supporting their India, the Blue Tigers. The Australian fans are here as well, of all ages, looking forward to cheering on the Socceroos, the winners in 2015 at home. They were the runners-up in Qatar just over a decade ago. We can just about fit the height of Harry Souttar into the camera. Need to go back a little bit. He's an enormous player, and he's not just a fine defender, he's a great goal scorer. But in terms of obstacles to overcome, in terms of great barriers, here's one of them. This is a history-making moment for that individual, for Yoshimi Yamashita, the 37-year-old who becomes the first ever woman to referee a match in the Men's AFC Asian Cup. Congratulations to her and her team. 60% of the world's population lives in Asia, almost 5 billion people. They speak literally hundreds of languages. But division becomes unity as the AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023 begins. From all across this great continent, they've gathered in Qatar to support their teams, to see who will lift the trophy next month. We're a long, long way away from that, but you've got to start somewhere. They know how to do it. They have been the runners-up, believe it or not, back in 1964. It's a great way for these nations to begin. Australia versus India at the flagship international competition in Asia. You're watching the AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023. And let's begin with the national anthems.
أصحاب السمو والمعالي السيدات والسادة، يرجى الوقوف في حالة القدرة لعزف النشيد الوطني لأستراليا.
of India.
والآن يرجى مواصلة الوقوف لعزف
The very warmest of welcomes to you indeed, wherever in the world you're watching from. It is the AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023, Australia versus India in Group B of this flagship tournament in Asia. It's my great pleasure to have your company, but also to have the company of the gentleman alongside me, Paul Macefield, who knows Asian football inside out and also is steeped in the Indian domestic game. Well, Paul, that's an interesting place to start. What do we do in terms of seeing a path to victory for India here?
They've got to batten down the hatches to start with. I think that's what they've done with the team selection, and definitely Deepak Tangri coming in to the starting lineup for his debut as well. He's big news for India, so they are going to look to try and keep it tight and hit Australia with a little bit of pace. But this Australian side does have quality, it has experience. Let's not forget they were here just a couple of years ago when the World Cup was on, playing in this very stadium against Argentina, so they know a little bit about being here in the big games.
And they will be quite desperate to turn memories of this place into a happier affair. They were so fantastic, weren't they, in that game against the Argentinians, despite ultimately losing it by 2-1.
No, they were. There was no question about that, but it's a different kettle of fish now. You mentioned about Asia. It's all about Asia now, and with India on the up and turning around and being progressive as they are, it's very positive for them.
Rahul of Mumbai City wearing number 2 for India. 17 is Changte, another Mumbai City player. Changte could be, Paul, a really useful figure for the Indians in terms of the pace that he has.
Absolutely. Player of the year last year, Lalanswala Changte. There he is. Was absolutely on fire throughout the whole of last season and has started to turn that form around. Igor Stimac giving him the opportunity to start in today's big game. And it is a big game for this Indian side. Coming up against a side that's ranked, what, 25th in the world? India just in and around the 100 mark, so it is a big challenge and a big test for the Blue Tigers.
Suresh with a very nice ball to Changte. Changte goes for an early delivery just over the head of Sunil Chetri, but real evidence there of a determination to play that attack with pace.
What a ball in that was, by the way, from Lalanswala Changte. We've seen him play for his club side on the right-hand side. He's been deployed on the left today, but he's whipped that in, and Sunil Chetri not a million miles away.
And certainly the case that if you are going to have a target to aim at in any penalty area in the world, Sunil Chetri is not a bad one, considering that he scored almost 100 goals for the national team.
He's not bad in the air either. He's not afraid to get up, and he does get up really well, Sunil Chetri.
He said that Igor Stimac is like a father figure to the team, and then he added an elder brother to someone like me. I think he's being a little cruel on himself for calling himself a fossil. He's not at all.
He's the oldest outfield player here in the AFC Asian Cup.
Fresh as a daisy. Played towards Martin Boyle. Number 25 is Gethin Jones. Just a second appearance for him for the national team.
Just haven't got themselves going at the moment, have they, the Australians? They're not into a stride, into a rhythm. India doing very well at the moment, just to put that pressure on and just press high up. Using patience though, the Australians just looking to try and keep the ball and just play around. India opting just to keep the shape and allow the Australians to have the ball in front of them. So there's a bit of patience there from the Aussies at the moment.
Australia, the 2015 champions. As Harry Souttar of Leicester City, huge signing, well, huge in every sense of the word, but fantastic acquisition for Leicester City, and he's Scored 4 goals in the last 4 months internationally as well. Remarkable record for a defensive player of 10 goals in 22 appearances.
Well, we interviewed him earlier, didn't we? And I'm not being funny, he is absolutely huge. He's a real big unit and a real asset to the Australian side.
Tempted to have a shot, certainly, and first attempt from Australia isn't enormously challenging from Duke.
Well worked, though. The Australians keeping that patience, just trying to probe that opening. Then no one goes out from India to close that space, and it allows that free shot to come in. That won't please Igor Stimac too much, but it was way off target.
Yeah, a lot of space for Aziz Behich, Melbourne City player and part of the team that won the Asian Cup in 2015 under the stewardship of Ange Postecoglou. Wonder what happened to him.
Oh, Big Ange will be watching this, you can be sure about that.
We look at Manvir from Durre, a small village in the Punjab region, named after a famous warrior athlete called Duhar, who was a renowned kabaddi competitor. Rolls. Bacchus.
Again, India just keeping their shape here, which is forcing the Australians to try and pass it around to probe for that opening, and they're getting frustrated because they're giving the ball away.
India guilty of that as well, not able to get it out of defence, and it is dealt with by Rahul. And an important intervention there from Subhasish. 36th appearance for the national team. But it has been, hasn't it, a very disciplined start from India, as you said was necessary.
Yeah, the shape, they've got to keep the shape.
Fighting very hard to win the ball back and winning it fairly in the judgment of Yoshimi Yamashita. Not too many options here on the right flank for Manvir. We might see a little flexibility in the shape of the Indian attack.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see Sunil popping up out wide, or you see Manvir switching with Lallianzuala Changte, just to try and offer something a little bit different. It's Australia's turn now to try and press, and that's easy pickings for the centre-backs when they go long, India.
Well, it really has filled up splendidly, the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, with so many Indian fans. The Indian community in Qatar is enormous. And just physical enough, but not too physical, was Rahul to deny Martin Boyle the chance to bring that under control.
It was a great run from Boyle, though. He went early as well, and it was seen by Metcalfe, who tried to pick him out. Good play there from the Aussies, but Rahul Beke coming all the way across and just using that big upper body strength that he has to just ease Boyle out of the way.
Oh, that's a risky ball to Gurpreet Sandhu from Apuya. Just a little test there of how awake your goalkeeper is. Chetri finds Changte, who flies down the left flank. They've kept the attack alive. Manvir. Rolls able to play it away, but the danger there from Lallianzuala Changte. I mean, he's a wonderful presence in a wide position.
Just pure pace, pure pace. Puya not wanting to make too close of friends, as it were, with Duke, going straight through the back of him and conceding a free kick.
Yes, one of the new generation of very skilled young players coming through in the Blue Tigers, Apuya. This 31-year-old Bengaluru player, Gurpreet, tries to get the defence in the right position to deal with this set piece from Australia, with players like Harry Souttar always really dangerous.
This is where the Aussies can really hurt India from set plays.
Harry Souttar was crouching down, making him almost the same height as other players, and there he was. It was actually not Souttar who got on the end of that. It was Mitchell Duke.
Tell you what, it's a great run from him. Sunil Chetri just caught a little bit flat-footed. Duke got in front of him and flicked that goal bound, and it wasn't a million miles away. Probably the best opportunity we've had so far in the game.
And Duke set off from a position similar to where Harry Souttar was, and I suppose, Paul, that's the real danger, is that you can just keep all your eyes defensively on Harry Souttar in a set piece and miss everyone else.
Exactly, and that's the thing, and sometimes it's worth Souttar just going and standing at the back post to attract the bigger players from India, and then you throw one in and you do a little shorter ball into the box, and then somebody else pops up. Duke's good in the air, but Irvin, Raoul's, they're all good players getting on the end of things.
Making the run is Gethin Jones, but all amounted to nothing. And Jones has to track back, and that's going to be interesting, the dynamic down the left wing for India, because there's potential that Jones could leave Changte some space to exploit.
Changte just tried to go then, didn't he? And Subhasish Bose trying to play that one over the top. It was good closing down in the end from the Australians.
Sensible lateral ball from Gurpreet. Rahul, the man who, well, it's been given away. We'll come back to that in a moment, because there's an opportunity for the Australians, but Changte was back well. Run well by Keanu Bacchus. Boyle. Oh, that's the end of that one then.
Solid from Subhasish, not allowing him to go past. Australia not panicking though, they're just trying to take their time and wait for their chance.
Bacchus goes towards the far post, looking to Craig Goodwin, based at Al Wehda in Saudi Arabia.
That was good from Nikil Pujari though, just getting something on it.
Oh, it's a very good ball. What a clever piece of football that was from Bacchus to Boyle. I think so many were anticipating the shot there.
You said it, very clever play. It's a beautiful ball from Bacchus, picking out Boyle, who just ghosted in. Just couldn't get the power on that header though, so never really going to trouble Big Gurpreet in goal.
Perhaps now this contest establishing the sort of pattern that we might expect, with Australia holding the ball and India really being tested defensively.
Yeah, they are, but it's all about discipline and it's all about the training pitch. And we heard Igor Stimac, the head coach, talking about how important it was and how they put the work in to keep it defensively tight. So it's up to Australia to find a way to break that down.
And it's when trying to find those opportunities and perhaps becoming frustrated that you can switch off for a moment, leave a little space, and there goes Changte down the wing and find Sunil Chetri, and India get a breakaway goal.
Listen, it's never beyond the realms of possibility. I remember India coming here and drawing 0-0 with Qatar in the World Cup qualifiers not that long ago. Gurpreet made about 20 saves that day and was absolutely unbelievable. He really was. But if Australia do have a little bit of an off day and India can get a point from this, the group opens up. That is why they are desperate, and Graham Arnold knows how important to get it is. 3 points from the opening game.
Here he is, Lallianzuala Changte. perhaps the immediate impetus of the attack is lost, but Apuya has possession. The Australians lost their opening game of the last AFC Asian Cup. They will know the need to be vigilant against a team that they are expected to beat. Chance to deliver across. Oh, arriving was Sunil Chetri. The ball just seemed to hang in the air for an age, and there was a gentleman who is so good with his head, and Igor Stimac puts his hands on his head.
That reaction from Stimac says it all. Sunil Chetri getting into a brilliant position just in between Suter and Jones, and he's got to hit the target. That is a golden opportunity to give India the lead. That has probably now overtaken as the best chance of the match, and India should really be one up. What a chance.
And that, Paul, is exactly what we were hypothesising about it a few minutes ago. That breakaway opportunity and that likely combination that he will have prepped his players on to watch for Chang Tae to start an attack and eventually for Chetri to finish it.
Well, he was asked about Sunil Chetri before the game. Does he have any special plans, as he's one of Asia's legends in football, as it were, with his goal-scoring prowess? And he went, no, not really. And I tell you what, he's got away with that one there then with his team. That's just a little warning to the Australian side.
Overhit there by Keanu Bacchus. Looking for Craig Goodwin, the player who's in his second spell in Saudi Arabia. The all-time highest goal scorer for Adelaide United. Raul Beke. Bacchus, and that's a necessary intervention from Sandesh Shingan.
Looked offside there. I think that's what they were saying. But I tell you what, it was a good press from Australia. They all went as a unit and as a team. There was nobody not doing the job, and they win it back and they nick it forward, and that's clearly 2 yards offside. As it is, the Australians now get a set play. They get themselves a corner where they can apply danger to this India side because of the height and the physical advantage.
Real challenge here for India to deal with this corner kick, and it goes straight to the near post. A roar from the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium as that's cleared.
So yes, you see him all the time in the league doing that. When somebody gets across him, he just gives him a little shove, but the Australians take the free kick quickly and just want to get on with things.
Suter of Aberdeen in Scotland, but his mother born in Port Hedland in Western Australia.
You've just seen the reason why Deepak Tangri got the start today. He's like a little bulldog in the middle of the park there, closing down, harrying, not giving time, not giving space. That's why Igor Stimac has given this young man the opportunity today to shine.
And I think safe to say, Paul, a really surprise call-up for the national team, and what Stimac has done is show enormous faith in this player to put him into the starting lineup today.
Absolutely, giving him a real offside.
Rolls of Heart of Midlothian in Scotland. Telegraph really to Chang Tae, who's not happy with himself for where he placed that header. Metcalf goes down, but play goes on.
Again, look at the discipline of India. Look at the banks, the lines, the 4, the 5 that drop in there. Sunil Chetri just a little bit further forwards. It's disciplined from India, but you have to keep that for the full 90+ minutes. Great run again there, Boyle, and it was just this time Suter trying to slide him in. That is where everybody has to be on their game for India. Australia will take time. They'll take that time. When that opportunity comes, they'll look to take it. They're using their patience, but India have to be right on their mettle here for the full game.
And how many times we have seen in so many tournaments an unfancied team. Oh, there's pressure here. There's a real problem for Gurpreet to get back in goal. Is it going to be put in? It's in the end straight to Gurpreet from Connor Metcalfe. Boyle across goal and not touched home. Oh, that was nervous for India. Very nervous. Gurpreet called out of position and really might have been tested more by Metcalfe.
I don't understand how Australia haven't scored there. That should have been the first goal.
Space for Bacchus, and this time he opts to shoot, having before tried to pick out Boyle. I think Boyle wanted to be picked out there based on the way he turned back towards the halfway line.
Here it is again, look. It's a real miscue from Gurpreet. I thought he was going to hit that first time. As it is, he's rolled it back into Metcalfe, who should have hit it first time. In the end, he's taken that touch. It's allowed everybody to get back for India. And Gurpreet just sets himself, just gets those big hands there to palm it away to safety. That was a golden opportunity for the green and golds to take the lead.
Well, as I was about to say before, that chance made the point before I could make it. How often we've seen in tournaments the much less fancied team hold their own for 90% of a match, and one loss of possession, one error breaks their hearts.
That's the difference between absolute quality teams and just normal teams. You have to have that extra little something, and that's what all the good teams do. They always have that little bit of something, and that's why Australia need to be patient.
Good performance so far from Jhingan. Kai Rolls, 25-year-old, one of the newer figures in the Australian national team. Just a little short there from Jones, forcing the ball to be lashed forwards. Certainly a player who's shown himself to have very useful vision. Boyle, overhit for Boyle from Metcalfe.
Yeah, just a bit too heavy, just on that return pass. You can see what they were trying to do, but you're right about Bacchus. He's the man that's picking that ball up in the holes, and he's causing and creating all sorts of little problems when he gets on that ball, and he just drops off and just gets it and starts to pick those passes. Something that India do need to be aware of.
Really is a fine crowd gathered in this 45,000-seater stadium. Al Rayyan is the... Well, we'll come back to that because there's a clear foul.
Yep, Jones just stuck the leg out, just caught Lallianzuala Changte. There you go. No doubts about that, no question.
And that is something that a player like Changte experiences a lot in their career.
Yeah, he does get a fair few knocks because he's so quick as well.
The stadium in the Al Rayyan area, the largest population in Qatar outside of Doha. It is part of the wider metropolitan area. A very verdant part of Qatar because it has historically been a floodplain. And very nice conditions. Clear day, it's warm but not extremely warm. Irvine. Chris Backus. Little touch on Backus, he stays on his feet, but India recover the ball, and really from their perspective so far, it's been quite positive.
No, it has. Both sides, you look at the possession, it's obviously all in favour of Australia, but the discipline is in favour of India.
Oh, that was a necessary but dramatic intervention from Rahul. But it got the job done.
Yeah, Metcalf again making that dynamic run from the middle of the park to go beyond the striker. Goes from out to in. He'd have got on the end of that, so Rahul Beke having to swing that leg at it.
Certainly took a risk, because it could have gone easily into his own net, but as you say, Paul, he had to make a connection and got it right. Didn't manage to threaten from the last corner kick in this position, the Australians. Can they do so this time? And a similar outcome.
It's all about the quality of the delivery here now. See a couple of big boys in there at the moment, Irvine and Suter wanting to get on the end of this.
That looks a little more testing, but it just drifts over Gurpreet's goal. And really, Paul, from an Australian perspective, they haven't maximised these corner kicks at all.
No, they haven't, but I'm just wondering there, and I'm looking, has he gone for the Olympic goal there, Irvine? I think he's tried to test Gurpreet out there, you know. I think he's tried to bend that in the top corner.
Ethan Jones. Player who's lived in Wales for much of his life, was born in Perth. And he's got a very strong association with Bolton Wanderers, who helped him through a very difficult spell in his life. Here he is, Jones, and now Changte just hesitated for a moment in coming forwards. He's played well, hasn't he, Subhasish, so far?
Did well there, Duke, on two occasions. Subhasish having to come across to the rescue there. Thing was, you just saw Jones starting to tuck inside a little bit more. Changte got the ball, but just couldn't exploit that space, and that could be a little bit dangerous for Australia as the game goes on.
Does really well. Changte not able to control it. Back from Rolls to Ryan. I think we have to say, Paul, Deepak Tangri, considering the scale of this occasion, considering how, frankly, nervous he looked during the warm-up facially, he's done ever so well. He's been really strong.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid in the middle of the park. And like you said, Igor Stimac putting that trust in him. Bit of a surprise, I think, for the Australian side that he did start as well. So Igor Stimac throwing that little curveball by naming him in that starting 11.
And they've had some difficult injury issues, the Indians, as that is a very, very narrow escape. And as is that now, the Australians just half-heartedly considered appealing for a penalty kick there, for a handball, but it was another lunging intervention from India.
Yeah, it was. Just needed that little bit more quality, didn't it, from that ball in from Boyle in a good position. And again, it's Tangri that's coming across, sliding in to block that cross. That was Rahul Beke a little bit earlier, putting the challenge in. Well, he stood up and been counted so far, and there's Deepak Tangri. And there, I tell you what, a penny for your thoughts. Graham Arnold doesn't look overly worried, but he knows it's not right at the moment.
They'll feel a lot better if they can find a higher quality corner kick. Yoshimi Yamashita blows the whistle. And that is a little better. But it's an easy clearance for Suresh. It was better, Paul, but by degrees, not by miles.
I wouldn't disagree with that. When you get the ball in there and it misses the first man, you've always got an opportunity for the ball bobbling around to just get something on it. As it was a blue shirt that got there first, and so the Swangjam it was that cleared his lines.
Suter. Long diagonal delivery. Nikhil Pujari was the player who went for it, and over the top it goes. Not the easiest of shots to take on, but certainly an opportunity and a good one for the Socceroos.
I think there's one or two people in blue shirts saying, should that not have been a foul? He went for the ball, Nikhil Pujari, but the man didn't play for the ball. As it was, it got whipped in, and these are the opportunities that could come back to haunt Australia. Boyle on that occasion with the volley and the strike. Six attempts to one so far in this game. 65% Australia. They are the side in the ascendancy, but India are showing that grit and that determination, and they are hanging in there against a side that's what, 75, 76 places above them in the world pecking order.
For the Indians now to just get through this next 15 or so minutes is going to be really significant.
There was a foul there because Jones quite clearly held Lallianzuala Chante, but got away with it.
And the foul has been given there on the aforementioned Jones. Now some of the Indian players might feel a little aggrieved.
Well, the bench does. Igor Stimac and also his assistants down there are just saying, how can you not give the other one? Even Sunil Chetri's just having a quick quiet word there. He's tripped himself there when you watch the replay. And that's why Igor Stimac is not happy.
Suter. Out it goes to Boyle. And Chante coming back and fighting hard.
I like Boyle. The more and more this game's going on, I like him. He's got very, very, very quick feet. It's the last AFC Cup and the World Cup because of injury, and now starting to try and show Graham Arnold why he deserves that starting berth in the first 11.
As he travelled to Qatar despite having a knee ligament injury. As that's well claimed by big Gurpreet Sandhu.
I'm telling you now, that was a shot. I know that Gurpreet there has got the ball. He's seen where Matty Ryan was in goal, and he's thought he can kick the ball the length of the field of play. He's gone for that, but he's just miscued the strike.
Now, on the subject of things that you would not expect on the first match day of an AFC Asia Cup, that'd be right up there, wouldn't it?
A goal from the goalkeeper, kicking it the length of the field of play. Just trying to remember if we've seen a goalkeeper score in the AFC Asian Cup before. To get some homework done on that, I think.
Into that dangerous period now of the first half where India must keep their resolve, keep their discipline, and have the reward of a scoreless game at the break. And here is an opportunity that again required some lunging defence from the Indians, and again they just about escaped from.
Well, Duke just couldn't make that right connection there with the strike. He'd done well to get in front of the defender, so that meant that he could go and attack the ball better. Better quality in from Boyle as well. There you see, just ahead of that defender, and just couldn't guide it with the angle that he wanted to put it towards goal.
Martin Boyle to deliver the corner kick for Australia. And surely you would think at some point ball is going to meet head with the kind of aerial challenges that the Australians can pose. Well, not if they can't get it beyond the first Indian defender.
Keep hitting the first man, it's poor.
Boyle has another chance and he's got some space to deliver it. And tracking back there was Deepak Tangri. And that evidence of what's been a really secure first half from the debutant. Still, though, the space is there for Martin Boyle. And he's brought down by Subhasish.
These are the more dangerous areas because you can get a better angle on that ball in, and you've got runners going across the goalkeeper that can cause all sorts of problems. Subhasish Bose just sticking that leg out, did catch him. There is contact, it is a free kick, and it's a dangerous, dangerous area. Igor Stimac not happy at all. He said yesterday in the press conference, we've got to not concede silly little free kicks in and around our area because we know that's where Australia can hurt us. That's why he's gone to sit down. He's not happy.
If Australia can get the goal here, their mood will transform completely heading to half-time. Might be Craig Goodwin with the left foot. And indeed it is. It's a very good ball and it's cleared well. Dangerous delivery from Goodwin. And it was Sandesh Jingan.
Good defending from Jingan there. Was it Jingan? No, it was Manveer Singh. Good defending from him. Just managed to get in front there.
And good job too, because Harry Souttar was the next player. Bacchus, what a clever ball. Metcalf.
Surely something's got to give here. Something has to give because Australia are absolutely piling the pressure on. But you could see there the number of blue shirts going to close that ball down. They are desperate to get through to the break at 0-0 so they can regroup themselves and come out in the second half. The Aussies desperate to nick one here. Totally change the dynamic of the game if they score before half-time. It really, really will.
As ever, Harry Souttar forward, and it's Manveer Singh who's got the unpleasant job of trying to deal with him. Souttar does make his run, and it's going to fall over the top from Bacchus. It fell quite nicely for him to try and hit it.
Yeah, just leaning back though, wasn't he, as the ball came to him, because there was a rush of blue shirts again going out. They've just got to deal with that ball into the box now, whether it's Gurpreet, whether it's the defender. Souttar is going to be the target, but you could just see there as it came to Bacchus slightly leaning back, which meant that it's always going to go high.
He has very special memories of this place. His first senior international start was against Argentina in the round of 16 at the World Cup. Tricky one for Jingan, and he plays it sensibly.
Not a bad national team debut, that one, is it? There's Timmy Cahill. Over here, of course, an ambassador with Aspire Academy that's produced players for Qatar moving forwards. And, of course, legend Socceroo that he was. If you were a corner flag, you were always afraid if Tim Cahill was playing.
Good win. Jones. Jackson Irvine of Zampauli in Germany, the hipsters' club of choice. Massive cult following across Europe.
It's interesting, you look at the Australian shape, they're starting to not believe a little bit at the moment because Jones is tucking in a little bit too much, as is Behich. and that's causing them to be over-flooded in the middle. Tim Cahill, as we mentioned earlier, looking on. He'd have done something about this if he was out there by making a run into a wide area or creating an issue. You have to turn around and say it has been Australia's game, but you have to say India have defended like absolute warriors. They really have in this opening, well, 40 minutes so far.
It's a strange thing, isn't it, Paul, to describe being scoreless as we approach half-time as almost a dream start, but it's not far off that for Igor Stimac's team.
Yeah, but it only takes a second to score a goal. That's the problem that they have. One little mistake, as you mentioned earlier, one little error, one lapse of concentration, and bang, all that hard work's gone.
Metcalf to Irvine. Goodwin's delivery, and the header is wide. Did it take a touch after Connor Metcalf's?
Saying it did. The referee has pointed out wide. It has. Rahul Beki's gone and try and close that down again. Metcalf didn't make the right connection there. He swung the head a little bit too much rather than just putting his head there. Igor Stimac just asking for another 5–10% from his players to get through to this break.
Once more, big Harry Souttar comes forward for this corner kick, and it's a fabulous flying clearance there from Sandesh Jhingan, who looked as though he got clattered in the process. A couple of players colliding. The bravery, though, from Jhingan.
Yeah, eye on the ball, he's gone for it, he's won the header, and you can see Rouse has gone straight into him. Good defending. That's really, really good defending from Sandesh Jhingan. Rouse, another one of the targets, rather than identifying Souttar all the time, has looked to drift in round the back there and try and get something on it. It's just a coming together. It happens. It is football. They're saying he might need a new shirt. Rouse looks as though he's getting to his feet, which is good news for Australia as well.
Naturally, with the nature of that collision between the two of them, proper calm medical protocols need to be followed here.
Where's the other one?
You must not rush the medical assessment of any player, particularly after they've taken what looks like a blow to the head.
And the worst thing is the player will want to play on. 100%. It's always the same. You know, before we used to run off, we'd go and have stitches and you'd run back on. Now with concussion and the dangers that can be and that are about in the world, obviously there is a lot more care for the players in this day and age than, let's just put it this way, 30 years ago.
And they will have enjoyed themselves so far, the India fans. Many of them too. Great to see, and great to have the sight of Sandesh Jhingan back on his feet now. Yoshimi Yamashita just informing Sandesh Jhingan to follow protocols and step off the pitch.
He's a warrior, Sandesh, big strong boy, don't worry about that. But again, this is very, very dangerous because it's a corner. Igor Stimac talking to the fourth official down in front of us, just not happy at all that he's not been allowed back on the pitch because it was a coming together and a head injury. And all the Australians are allowed on the field of play. And don't forget, Rouse was down on the floor as well, so that is not good.
Of all of the players that India will not want to have absent for this corner kick, it's that gentleman. What will the outcome be as Australia look to threaten as we get close to half-time in this first match in Group B? And it is dealt with well, but comfortably by Deepak Tangri, too comfortably.
Yeah, it was. Rouse had, well, he got ordered off the pitch, has just gone back on. So's Jhingan now.
Metcalf. has an overlap coming and saw that overlap coming from Jones, who just miscued. The right idea. Metcalf knew that Jones was on his way. 5 additional minutes that will feel like 5 additional hours for Igor Stimac.
Igor Stimac has just made the sign of the cross, has looked at the 4th official and gone, how can there be 5 additional minutes there? He is not happy at all. He is not happy at all. I'll tell you, he was a warrior as a defender and as a player when he played the game. He's definitely instilled that in some of his players today, because India, if they can see through this 5 minutes, have defended like champions. They really, really have.
And if you are newer to watching this wonderful sport and aren't perhaps as old as we are, well, we'll come back to this because there's a chance here for the Indians unexpectedly for Suresh. But as I was going to say, if you're a younger fan and you don't know Igor Stimac as a player, what a player, Paul, what a defender.
Oh, he was.
Now here is the space for the Australians. Good win. And behind it goes as India just throw quite literally all they have at this game.
Great play from Australia there. Troubling though, because they've got 1 or 2 players down. Looks like Deepak Tangri's down on the halfway line, but yet again Nikhil Pujari going all the way across to stop that ball going in. But it's up to Australia. Australia have to find a way. They're the ones that have to make sure they can get something. So far, it's been negative, as in they haven't scored yet. I think he might make a couple of changes, Graham Arnold, at half-time. This was the one earlier with Deepak Tangri. Ooh, did just catch him. Irvine just went over the top. There, bang, right on the shin. Could do without any more injuries, Igor Stimac.
Yes, they've been really hit, haven't they, India, in the build-up to this competition. We haven't really had chance to dwell upon that. So strong has been what we've seen from the players on the pitch. There's been no real opportunity to say, well, if so-and-so had been there, or if so-and-so had been there, because actually these players have held their own marvellously. Yeah,
you've got the likes of Jeekson, you've got Rahim Ali, you've got Anwar Ali. You know, that's just to name 3 of what are a few. Ashik Karunian. There's 4 that could have added more to the squad as well.
Is this going to be the last chance for Australia in this first half? Suter gets close to it. Metcalf up in the air. Irvine now to Jones, who goes to Duke, and it's safely headed behind. That was the first time really that Harry Suter has almost been on the end of the ball.
Correct from the corner, but this was a great ball, wasn't it, from Duke? Just looking at that far post area. There were gold shirts there to aim for, but again, somehow an Indian defender got to it first.
Irvine going close. Thumped away to another delirious roar from the Indian fans. Ryan, who's barely seen the ball. Now here is the little space needed for Duke on the right wing, and the space continues to flourish for Australia. Goodwin pulls it back. There's the shot, blocked. Irvine from the edge of the area.
Clever play from the Aussies, that. Very, very good.
Bacchus, what a nice ball, what a nice ball. And it's another block from another Indian player who feels it, and it's Jhingan again. I think he got clattered right in the equator there.
Again, bodies on the line time. There's 2 blue shirts down. Goodwin just checking back onto that right foot, pulls the trigger. That's more of the midriff just in the chest area, which is why he should be all right. Balls are made differently now today, aren't they? Yeah, if you'd have played in the 60s, you wouldn't be getting up if you did that.
He's a tough lad, isn't he, Sandesh Jhingan?
Yeah.
seconds elapse in this first half. And strangely, the half might end with the ball actually in the Australian final third.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be that long left now. Possibly another minute.
India in possession, not something we've said a great deal in this first half, but my goodness me, the effort from the Blue Tigers has been something to behold. They frustrated Graham Arnold's experienced team.
Listen, all those possession stats, all those passing stats, they all mean nothing. The only thing that matters are those two little circles that are up at the top of the screen there that says 0-0 for India. That's all that matters for India.
That's if it stays that way, because there's one final chance perhaps coming here. Martin Boyle has it. Shangte touches it, and so it will be an Australian ball. Well beyond the 5 additional minutes, but we did have some stoppages during that time as well. India will be desperate for this whistle to blow. Calmly played by Jingan. Goodwin, though, has it. Irvine trying to get through, and really well shepherded behind by Nikhil Pujari.
Brilliant from Nikhil Pujari there, because I tell you, it's a fantastic little run he's made in behind there again. Just that little give and go, looking to get in behind, to get to that byline, to cut it back. But Nikhil Pujari just went straight across the line, allowed Irvine absolutely no space whatsoever. Good defending. Trevor Sinclair there in the background as well, who's the set play coach. He's done his job so far today.
Whatever the official statistics say, it will feel to the Australian fans as though they've had 115% possession and 250,000 corner kicks. They just haven't been able to convert the chances. India have been absolutely superb defensively. Australia, though, Paul, remain a massive threat.
No, they do. I mean, they'll keep the ball, they've kept their patience. Maybe it's just a tweak in the formation that Graham Arnold needs to make, or a change in personnel. He's got bodies on the bench that he can bring on that can cause a threat. But can India hold out for that second 45 as well? Those are questions that will be answered very, very shortly.
And we look forward to your company for more action from the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium in Al Rayyan, Qatar. Australia 0, India 0 at the break. absolutely huge roar continues in the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium as the Indian players come back out onto the field of play, led by the captain Sunil Chhetri, the 39-year-old, the veteran, the legend of the game. In what has been an extraordinary match, Australia have been in absolute, total, undeniable control, with just one reasonably significant caveat: they haven't scored yet. It's going to be a very tough challenge now for the Indians over the next 45 minutes, but their work rate has been second to none. If they can continue in this vein, it will be one of their most memorable ever AFC Asian Cup results. A long way to go, though. He knows that, but he must have felt very proud of what he saw in the first 45 minutes. It's going to be tough, but they're ready for it. We begin the second half at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium in Al Rayyan, Qatar, as Australia have possession, taking on India in Group B on the first match day of the flagship international tournament in Asia, as Gurpreet Sandhu claims the ball early on. Alongside me, Paul Macefield, who has worked on the game in India for many years. You've seen these players domestically. What you've seen from them today, Paul, internationally is highly impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been immense defensively, but they've got to keep it going for 90 minutes or it's not going to mean anything. So it's a big test for them, and it's now a test for Australia to break down this Indian defence and the Indian defence lines.
Is there, in a situation like this, if you're Australia, to start second-guessing yourself, to start making errors you wouldn't otherwise make?
Yes, you do, because you haven't made that breakthrough, and that's why goals win games. If you get that goal, it just relieves all that pressure and that tension.
Coming back and getting half a touch, and it was a Puya. And again, he helps relieve the pressure on the defence.
You are right, though. If they were to get a point from this game, it would be one of their biggest results in probably modern time, going back 20, 30 years. The way that they've played, the way they're performing against the quality of opponents they are facing as well.
Bacchus. There's reason to be optimistic with a player like him on the pitch if you are an Australian fan, because he has got that ability to find people in the right position. Jackson Irvine. Bacchus. Little space for Irvine to strike. Not bad construction from the Australians, though.
No, but if you saw what happened there, Duke actually pulled out Sandesh Jhingan to create that space for him. They're making that run across. It allows Nikhil Pujari has to come back inside, but then just that touch, just slightly too far away there from him, which is why he couldn't get it on target. Well played, though, nicely moved and nicely worked.
Jackson Irvine made his national team debut in 2013. Didn't then play again until 2016, so he wasn't part of the team that won the AFC Asian Cup. Rolls. Played purposefully by Goodwin to Irvine, and the goal well kept by Gurpreet Sandhu.
Had to be lively there. Big Gurpreet coming off his line very quickly. Nicely threaded through from Goodwin, and again it's Irvine making those runs from the middle of the park that's causing problems.
the 9th time that these nations have met. 5 of the previous 8 contests have been an Australia victory. The 2 Indian wins, 1938 and 1956, so it gives you a sense of the scale of the task facing India. And over a decade ago they met in Qatar at the Asian Cup. It was a 4-0 victory for the Australians then. This is evidence that Igor Stimac's plan is going quite well, but he's got to endure many more moments like that in this game. There will be so many more chances for the Australians.
Yeah, there will.
Boyle, and he hasn't fully connected with that. Gurpreet losing control of it, and Jackson Irvine taking control of the game for Australia. It's such a sad way for the Indians to concede after all of the good work they've done. It's Australia 1, India 0, the breakthrough at last.
And what did we say about having to keep that mental strength, not just for 90 minutes, but it's 90 plus minutes. It's a mistake, and it's come from the keeper. You can't hide when you're the goalkeeper. That's the problem. He's just flapped it straight into the path of Irvine, who just has to be in the right place at the right time. All that good work, all that defending that they've done in the first half, all means nothing now, because that little bit of luck has shone on the Australian side as they take the lead.
Jackson Irvine's 10th goal for the senior national team. The captain of St. Pauli in Germany. It cannot be argued that Australia do not deserve that opportunity, that lead.
Oh, it's deserved. There's no question about that. But can India come back? That's the question.
They did have one marvellous chance in the first half. Sunil Chhetri heading wide. But there is the gentleman who has changed everything.
Here's another angle from it. I mean, Nikhil Pujari's behind him. Lack of communication, but Gurpreet just pushing it straight into the path. He's got a big frame as well. Not go with both hands to take that. As it is, it's cost his side. Trailed by that goal to 0.
Sometimes in situations like this, there's a clear deflation of the team that has defended so hard, and a second and third goal can quickly follow.
Yeah, they can. That's why discipline needs to be right up there now for this India side. Australia, 16 shots they've had throughout the game so far, compared with the 3 that India have had. Tells you the dominance that they have been enjoying. But just a solitary goal to show for it isn't enough. That's the big thing, and that's the big question.
Boyle leaving it for Goodwin, and with no real angle to work with, Jackson Irvine.
Well, he's had his opportunities and chances today, hasn't he, Irvine? Got a bit lucky there as well, because Gurpreet did get a little bit of contact with his arm on it.
Well, now we are faced with a hypothesis, if I can say the word right, that we haven't actually had to explore yet in this game, which is how India chases this game down. What do they now do?
Well, I think the question is, if Australia take their foot off the gas, if they stop pushing forwards, if they stop going for it and try and keep the ball a little bit more, we might see India come out a little, and we may see them trying to nick that ball back and then try and get in behind. But I think that Australia will want to get a second here, because they know that at 1-0 anything can happen.
Uzbekistan and Syria, the other teams in the group. The top 2 automatically advance to the knockout stage in this 24-strong AFC Asian Cup, for the first time ever, a 24-strong Asian Cup. So only 8 sides will go home at the conclusion of the group stage.
It's good. It's good because it gets that round of, you know, in the extra round in, which means that more teams qualify, more teams can play. Round of 16, always positive. And then you go your quarterfinals, your semis and your final.
Australia have always made it to the quarter-final stage at the very least. And for India, that runner-up position in 1964, their greatest accomplishment. Now this is intricately and well worked by Australia with space abounding. Cut out, but a loose ball. Rahul couldn't quite get it away. Oh, that's such frustration for the Australians because the opportunity was there.
It was a fantastic move as well, wasn't it? All the way through. He just got that stuck under his feet slightly there when trying to pull that one back, Behich. Then he gets a second bite of the cherry. But again, those blue shirts just throwing themselves in front of the ball.
Craig Goodwin to swing it in towards Gurpreet. And Gurpreet did think about making a move to the ball. Certainly if you are Australia now, then there are worse things to do than to speculatively send some crosses in to force Gurpreet into a decision after what happened to him minutes ago.
He's big and strong enough, though. He knows he's made that error, knows he made that mistake, but he'd go again. He'd come for that ball and he'd take it the next time. It just happens.
He has got a very strong connection to Australia, Gurpreet. His parents worked as police officers there. Spent part of the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic actually in Australia.
Yeah, he did. He was training with an Aussie player that used to play over in India called Eric Partaloo. Mates.
Little flick finds Goodwin. Bacchus. Out to Craig Goodwin. Ranveer Singh tracking back. The question is how to bring Sunil Chhetri into the game. Not easy.
No, it's difficult. Sunil is having to work hard up top as well. The whole team's having to work hard as a unit as well.
Goodwin made a very purposeful run there, didn't get spotted. Apuya needs a little overlap. Eventually arriving with Suresh.
And again, Igor Stimac not happy with that decision from the referee. Let's have a look. Suresh gets it stuck under him. There you can clearly see it came off the Australian boot. No wonder he's not happy.
Still so much possession for the Australians as Goodwin was denied well by Manveer. Goodwin has it back. Irvine, who's looked a little more relaxed since scoring that goal. Rowing into the game. Bacchus, or nearly. The space is there nonetheless for Australia with Duke. Just didn't quite roll for him.
No, it didn't. It just got away from him, and Rahul Beke closing that space and forcing him into that wide area. It's not all rosy, is it? Just the finishing, that final touch from the Australian side, just not there today. They've created and created and created, but they've only got that solitary goal, and a mistake it was at that. I think Graham Arnold would be very disappointed with his side so far. 14 corners.
The goalkeeper was some way away from making that.
No
He's
surprise.
down.
Yep, no surprise. Souttar was the one that was the target. Gurpreet's come a long way, and he's just collided with his own player. Nowhere near that. Souttar just couldn't guide it goal bound. That goes down as a chance, you know. That goes down as a big chance.
Once again, it was Sandesh Jhingan who maybe just provided enough of a presence to make that difficult. The only goal scorer, that gentleman. A moment of such frustration for the Blue Tigers and such relief for the visiting Australian fans.
Yeah, they're bitterly disappointed after all that hard work in that first half, and they did have to weather not just a storm, they had to weather a few storms, shall we say. Absolute cyclone. And they did it well that first 45, but it's the Aussies that now have themselves just in front.
Ryan, who's had so little to do in this match. He was the Golden Glove when Australia won the AFC Asian Cup in 2015. Foul eventually given on Rahul Beke.
Metcalf just chasing him down and trying to do all he could to get that ball away. Rahul Beke, wiry old character, he's Rahul Beke. Intelligent, clever player as well.
And somebody who has, in the course of his career, been proven to turn up for big occasions, to really produce match-defining, if not season-defining moments.
Yeah, winning the Shield, of course, or the trophy, the actual trophy for Bengaluru, scoring in the 117th minute, the stoppage time. Header he was as well at the far post.
Also scored the winning goal against the Air Force Club in the AFC Champions League in 2022 to give Mumbai City the honour of being the first ever Indian team to win a match in the tournament.
This is interesting. It's Australia that are going to make the changes first.
Yes, we might be in for a career-making moment here for a very young player wearing number 7, who's a new face in the team. He's coming on for one of the more experienced players, as Martin Boyle gives way to Samuel Silvera. There he is, the Middlesbrough player. Just a 4th appearance for the national team for him. And Connor Metcalf is the other player giving way. Riley McGree. So it's a double Middlesbrough change as the 25-year-old comes on for his 20th cap for the Socceroos. He started all 4 games in the World Cup, setting up Matthew Leckie's goal in the win against Denmark. Interesting to see Samuel Silvera, much talked about young player for Graham Arnold's team. Goodwin, did he keep that in? He did. There is Silvera's first touch. Just around about 30 minutes or so to go, factoring in additional time. And if you're a young player, Paul, like Samuel Silvera, then this is your chance, isn't it, to take a game by the scruff of the neck and to make it safe.
No, it is. There's no question about that. I mean, you know, he's only made his debut in September. And now's the opportunity to put it into play. And the big stage was a debut against Mexico, granted, a 2-2 draw. But, you know, this is where it counts. Friendlies are they're good for experience. But when it comes to tournament play, that's what counts.
Comfortable in the end for Gurpreet. There was a wasted opportunity for Australia, having stolen possession back.
They're still not getting it right, that final third, are they? They're conceding that possession too cheaply. That final pass just isn't right.
Oh, Ryan coming out to try to get in the way of Chante. That could have been a very awkward moment for the Australians.
It's just hit Jones on the back, though. That's the saving grace for Australia there. That was a little bit lucky. If it hits him and goes the other way, Chante's in. It's 1-1.
And here he is, Chante. Trying to touch it on for Subasic, who hasn't had many opportunities to get forward. Nor have many of the Indian players. But at the risk of sounding like a broken record, we just have to come back to how much heart the Indian team has shown, how hard they've worked.
No, absolutely. And I think that's there for everyone to see.
Irvine back to Goodwin. Goodwin's cross is dealt with by Sandesh Jhingan. Little flick from Apuya. Apuya, the youngest player ever to captain an Indian Super League team.
Northeast United a couple of years ago when he was there.
20 years and 44 days. I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it, to be ready for leadership at that age.
Scored a great goal that season as well. 40-yard rocket in the last game of the season. He is a talent, there's no doubt about that. Here we go. Mukesh Mishra looking ready to come on.
Another of the Mumbai City players from Balrampur on the border with Nepal. Joined the club last year from a 3-year spell at Hyderabad. They're having a wonderful experience, the Indian fans in the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium in Al Rayyan, proud of their team. Just gets away from Bacchus. Pujari, was that onside? Manveer, no, he's off, yes. Goodness me, it got deafening there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah. The Mexican wave going round the stadium as Manveer just strayed there, offside. If it had been played a fraction earlier, he was in.
And they just need one of those 50-50 moments to go their way, the Indians. But over the last 5 minutes, just a little more attacking intent shown.
Yeah, Australia in control, we know. There's no question about that. They're passing it around, they're keeping it. But India is starting to come out a little bit more. That could play into the hands of the Australians, but if they make mistakes like that...
Oh my goodness! Is it going to go all the way through? It's not. Well. Sharp intake of breath all around the arena.
Wow.
Don't know what the look on Graham Arnold's face was during that, but probably it's worth further scrutiny. Now suddenly, Goodwin has the ball in a potentially useful position. Page going inside. And here is the substitute, McGree. Well, that was a strange moment, wasn't it?
It was a little bit bizarre. It really, really was. It could have ended up so badly. That's just got just a little bit too much spin on. I think that Ryan would have got back and got it anyway, but you can see there, Graham Arnold now not happy at all.
Well, for those of you who like playing football cliche commentary bingo, we're about to trot out the phrase "a win's a win," but nonetheless, there are wins that get you the 3 points. There are wins that make you feel as though you're on course to take the title.
Yeah.
This is not one of those wins if they hold on.
Ollie, you're absolutely spot on. This is just we've just managed to scrape the 3 points here, and I don't think that Uzbekistan will be looking at this and be too worried. Syria the same. I think that they'll feel that they can give this Australian side a game as well. And just tell you what, they'll be looking over their shoulders, those two, at the way India has performed tonight as well, because that's not going to be a stroll in the park for them. So a nice Group B simmering along here. It really is.
And we hope to have your company for as much of the tournament as you're able to join us for, whatever time of day or night, wherever you're watching from and whoever you're supporting. Thank you for your company at the AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023. Aziz Behich to the only goal scorer, Jackson Irvine. Raoul Beke is being pressurised by Riley McGree, who keeps it in and does well to find his fellow substitute and fellow Middlesbrough player Silvera. More changes forthcoming for Australia by the looks of things.
Fornaroli is coming on. It's an interesting one, and the man who's going to come on and dictate the play, Boss, is going to come into the middle of the park and boss it.
And we say cheerio to Craig Goodwin and Mitchell Duke. Two players in very different stages of their lives coming on. Jordan, boss by name, boss by nature, as he was at the under-23 Asian Championships. He's just 21. And he's joined by Bruno Fornaroli wearing number 9, the 36-year-old, playing just for the third time for the national team. Born in Salto in the northeast of Uruguay, on the border with Argentina. And he now represents the nation that he's called home for so long. Can he get the goal that makes it safe? He's well positioned, and it's actually been put in by the man that you said, Paul, was going to boss the game, and he has done.
Well, you can't get a better start to the game than that. Your first touch as a substitute, and you put the ball in the back of the net, and that means that it's going to be game, set and matched. It really does. Well worked, no question about that. They moved the ball extremely well, and it looks so slick. And then Boss just drifting in at that far post area. Great work though from Australia once more down that right-hand side. You can see the angle there that Fornaroli had made. It tried to suck everybody in, but out wide. The quality and the vision to see Boss in that position from McGree. All the substitutes combining to literally put this game to bed.
Such a strong piece of play from Riley McGree to find Jordan Boss, and the substitutes have had an impact to the delight of Graham Arnold. Jordan Boss, congratulations to him on his first goal for the Socceroos at senior level, the 21-year-old. And that one imagines will make it a safe 3 points. And I suppose now we find ourselves asking the question from India's point of view about the next game and how they rebuild and continue to feel positive.
They haven't been completely all overawed at all throughout this match and throughout this game, so I think that there are positives that will be taken and there are positives that have to be taken from Igor Stimac and his side as they look to try and drive further forwards. Uzbekistan next up. It's not going to be a stroll in the park, but will they be a little bit more expansive? Will they create a little bit more? Or can they defend and hold on in the next one? But there are positives to take from today.
Boss doing very well. He wasn't too far away from being brought down there. So the substitutes on for India, number 12, Liston Golasso from Davolim in Goa in the southwest of India. 19th appearance for the national team. He's only 10 appearances away from 200 matches in Indian football, with over 70 goals. He's very well known to those of you who follow the Super League. And then Akash Misra, wearing number 6, has come on, of Mumbai City, from a very different part of the vast nation of India, right up by the Nepalese border in Balrampur. These two nations are more commonly found meeting each other in cricket, and Akash Mitra actually started as a cricket player until watching his elder cousin play football. Subhasish and Suresh, the players who have departed for Igor Stimac's team. Chante, slightly heavy touch. It almost allowed the chance for Australia to counter, but it's well won back in the midfield and then lost by India. It's always tempting, isn't it, Paul, to write narratives about football teams in major tournaments at the conclusion of a first game. The reality is nobody wins a tournament by playing every minute outstandingly.
No, I mean, you turn around and ask Argentina.
Yes.
In the World Cup that was held here in Qatar not that long ago. You can go on and you can lose the first game, but you can go on and win the tournament. Again, it's just all about pulling everything together at the right time, and everybody has to contribute.
Bruno Fornaroli. He got on a bus at the age of 12 to go from Salto in the northeast of Uruguay to Montevideo to become a footballer. And on that same bus, gentleman called Luis Suarez, who nobody ever heard of again.
Here it is again, though, McCree. Sometimes you've just got to be in that right place at the right time, but look at this for cool and composure. He doesn't lash at the ball, he doesn't smash the ball, he sees where the defender is, he just tucks it into the corner and says thank you very much.
We were saying earlier on in the match, as young Samuel Silveira came on, that these sorts of matches where you're having a tough time against a disciplined, less fancied team, they're a great chance for a young player to really make a name for themselves. On the subject of people who have made a name for themselves, Deepak Tangri, as he comes off, this is as tough a debut as you get, really. He's done very well.
Yes. It's probably one of the toughest when you're coming up in the Asian Cup and you're coming up against one of the powerhouses in Asia. Yeah, hasn't let himself down at all. Has done really, really well, but it's now time for Anu Tapa to turn around and try and get back to that form that we knew he could play, like the way that he used to play. Get on the ball a little bit more, creating things for his side.
Such an experienced player. Over 50 appearances for the national team. Fornaroli, good touch. Goalkeeper is really alert. Gurpreet Sandhu ahead of Riley McGree. Clever little ball that from the substitute Fornaroli. Jones defending well. That was Akash Misra trying to get beyond him.
The game's been played in a good spirit, you know. The referee as well hasn't had much to do at all. I think she's been quite impressive in the middle.
Yes, we say another word of congratulations to Yoshimi Yamashita, 37-year-old who has made history today as the first ever woman to referee a match in the men's AFC Asian Cup. Foss. Foul on the edge of the area on Samuel Silveira.
Now Puya just a little bit guilty there. There, once you raise the arm and the arm is there, and with the referee in close attendance, of course, that little nick on the ankle is always going to give a free kick.
Interesting free kicks that are this close. Perhaps ideally for the striker of the ball, just a couple of yards further away. Bruno Fornaroli is the player who is interested in trying to bend it over the wall. Chante, the player in the draft excluder position.
He wants his goal for the national team, doesn't he?
Well, is this going to be the day of the substitutes? Bruno Fornaroli, well saved by Gurpreet.
Good strong hands as well, pushing it well away from goal so that there be no danger.
It's the cruelty of life as a goalkeeper, because Gurpreet has done virtually everything right in this match, apart from one moment that will be replayed a lot.
Just think, if that ball doesn't go in the back of the net, do they score the second one? It's all ifs and buts, and you can't hypothesize about those things.
Aidan O'Neill, 9th appearance for the Socceroos, replacing Keanu Bacchus. So two substitutes coming on for Australia, based in the Belgian leagues. Firstly, Westerlo's Jordan Boss, and now Standard Liège's Aidan O'Neill. And he's from the magnificent city of Brisbane, capital of Queensland, one of the great sporting cities of part of the world. Agree.
Oh.
That was worth a try.
You see what he was trying to do there, the little nutmeg and go around, just slipped at the optimum points.
Well, Beckett, nearly a very nicely placed ball that to Liston Golasso. Good control by Fornaroli. Aziz Bayic. Score of the first goal, Irvine. Irvine well positioned, they worked it almost to the point of creating a chance. Now Boss. He looks so confident, young Jordan Boss. Bayic, and cut out by Tapa.
You mentioned Boss there. It's putting a seed into the mind of Graham Arnold, saying, start me, I'm not a sub, I want to start the beginning of the match.
I think that's a point well made, isn't it, by him?
Correct.
Here he is again. Oh, it's a good idea, the pullback to McGree. And I think just a little word on the fans here supporting India as part of the large Indian population in Qatar. They've been tremendous.
Yeah, they have. They've been brilliant. They've been vocal all the way through this and really given some big support to their Indian mates, as it were. Hopefully they'll come here again and be back for the Uzbekistan game and get behind their side.
When India beat Thailand in the opening game of the 2019 edition of this tournament, it was their first win in the tournament proper since 1964, when they were the runners-up.
It's amazing, isn't it? I was there. It was a fantastic occasion. It really was. They were absolutely outstanding that day. They really were.
Do you know, at first I thought you were talking about the 1964 tournament. Thought you looked splendid.
I probably was there then as well, but
well, nearly a touch of the flamboyant from Liston. Yet to score for the national team. McGree. Controlled well by Aidan O'Neill. The substitutes have all made their point to some degree, haven't they? Either quietly or emphatically.
absolutely. And what it does is it just, as I mentioned, throws that seed of doubt into the manager's mind about, do I pick you for the next game or do I go with what was the tried and trusted? But that wasn't working. It seems to click better now with the changes that he's made.
There is one of those substitutes to another, and just enough strength shown by Raul. Silvera started the move off.
There you can see good first touch from McGree. Does really well, but again, Raul Beke just not going to be shoved out of the way. Use that upper body strength again to shepherd the ball.
Boss. It's a little touch that allows Bajic to send it to Fornaroli. What a useful player Bruno Fornaroli is to have in reserve. Somebody who, if you need to send a striker on to grab a goal when the game is not with you, you've got a luxurious option in Bruno Fornaroli, who scored 111 goals in 190 games in Australia. Ultimately, it looks, unless there's a dramatic and unexpected transformation in this match, as though it is going to be an ultimately comfortable win for Australia. From your perspective, Paul, what are the positives for Australia? What are the lessons? We'll come back to it after this. There might be a goal here for Boss. He's well positioned. Oh, it's a good effort from young Jordan Boss. Well, that would have been the exclamation mark on a very good statement that he's made.
Yeah, it would have been. He could have done a little bit better there. If you have a look when he shoots, he just turns his hips just at the last second there, and it pulls the shot wide of goal. That would have been an unbelievable dream came for him, and he hit the back of the net there. You can see in the middle as well, Fornaroli not happy. He wanted to get on the end of something, but that's the way it is.
The captain departs. Sunil Chetri and Lasenzwala Changte. And we see Mahesh Narem and Vikram Singh coming on. Just to come back to that earlier point before Jordan Boss nearly got another goal, just thinking, Paul, about the positives for Australia and the things that maybe Graham Arnold will want to see more of, or to see done differently in the next game.
Put the ball in the back of the net a lot more, but he'll have liked these subs have come on and given him a headache about who to pick for the next game. So I think there are little snippets that can be picked and chosen, and I think that's what we'll see. I think we'll see Australia come out a lot stronger in the next game. I think we'll see change in personnel in the starting 11 for sure, because there's a couple of players that have come on that have made a little statement here to their boss.
Irvine goes laterally. Silvera, a little tug on the shirt perhaps there, as it ends up comfortable for Gurpreet, but Samuel Silvera at the heart of it again.
Yeah, again, he's done ever so well there. Fornaroli just holding on to that ball and bringing others into play.
Oh, just agonisingly, Vikram not able to keep it in play. The Mumbai City youngster, as we see 6 additional minutes indicated. And it would be remiss of us not to say congratulations to Vikram wearing number 24, the substitute, because he is making his debut for the national team.
A little live wire this year. He has been from Mumbai City, out in those wide areas, caused all sorts of problems, and just before the break managed to get himself a goal as well from the penalty spot.
And he's been a goal scorer for the under-16s, under-20s and under-23 teams, so the omens are good. Here's Bayic, well cut out by the gentleman now wearing the armband, Sandesh Jhingan, also wearing the headband as well after that collision in the first half. McGree. Suter is brought down by Vikram. We haven't had any yellow cards in this match.
It's been very, very nicely played, I think it's fair to say. It's been a really good game. No real hassle or problems.
And from the perspective of the Blue Tigers, Paul, yes, no goals, yes, no points, but a lot that has been really impressive.
Yeah, but a lot of positives that you can take out of this. Again, they've had to cut their cloth accordingly. They are up against someone that's ranked a lot higher than they are. Over 75 positions in the world standings, and they've given a real good account of themselves. Let's be honest about that. They really, really have.
It's tempting to look back at what might have been moments in the match. One of them, from India's perspective, that opportunity in the first half for Sunil Chhetri.
Stooping header. If he puts that in the back of the net, all changes, doesn't it? All changes.
Suter misplaces that for Manveer to pick it up. What a special moment for Manveer, playing in this competition, as he has played in so many significant matches for the Indian national team. His father Kuldeep dreamt of playing for the national team, but was unable to continue his football career after a serious injury, a serious accident. Manveer Singh took up football to fulfill his father's dream of playing for the national team, and my goodness, how far he's taken that dream. Now almost 40 caps for the Blue Tigers.
No, absolutely, and you just mentioning the commentator's curse there, which is there's been no yellow cards, and Vikram, who's been on for about 4 minutes, lunges in, catches over the top Neil, and goes into the book. It always happens like that, doesn't it?
Well, as I was saying earlier, we've almost had no yellow cards in this match.
One's not bad.
They've seen their team win. He's seen things from his team to indicate that the progress continues to be good under the stewardship of Igor Stimac.
No, it is. If you compare with what's happened now over the last 4, 6, 8 years, and you see how the team has developed, evolved and come on, it has been positive, and it is, and the league over there is positive. They've just now got to do it at that national level.
McGree gets past his opposite number, Mahesh Naudam. One of the other substitutes is just caught dwelling on the ball a little, and then Irvine thumps it, Silvera thumps it, Silvera thumps it again. They're all thumping it, and that one's thumped too much by Aziz Behich, and it's gone flying into the crowd.
Well, a little bit of wacky races there, wasn't it? You can see Graham Arnold with a big smile on his face there. There was chance after chance. There's 1, 2, there's another one, 3, there's another one, 4. It keeps going, 5. These are all on the volleys, and 6 in the end from Behich, who just got right underneath that. And the shake of the head and the little smile tells you all you need to know. And Graham Arnold enjoying himself.
That's one of those rare moments that resembles everyone's primary school football matches.
Oh, are we looking at something? A possible something, is it? A possible handball? With one of those shots going towards goal?
There's a lot there, isn't there, for the video review team to scrutinise, considering the pace of those shots and the players flinging themselves at the ball.
There we go, there's one. No, that's ricocheted and deflected off an Australian back. Jingan's already moved forwards, and his arm is in a natural position. That's correct.
Good quick work from the video review team, coming to the right decision. And ultimately successful work from the Australian team, the Socceroos, picking up a victory against a very disciplined India.
No, but the question is can both sides go on from this, not just to progress, but to progress their levels throughout the year, throughout the next 2 years. Again, World Cup qualifiers coming up again in March, so vitally important that teams qualify for that. The Australians are in plumb position. That shouldn't be an issue, but for India, it would be massive if they could get through to the 3rd round of the FIFA World Cup as well.
Australia, the champions from 2015, begin their campaign in Qatar with victory by 2-0 over an India team that made it really very difficult for Graham Arnold's players. That gentleman got the first goal in the 50th minute. Jackson Irvine before a substitute, a young man that made a huge impact. Jordan Boss with his first touch, making the win safe. Nonetheless, these Indian players worked fiercely hard. People like Sandesh Jingan, for example. But for the Australians who experienced the frustration of a loss in their first game 4 years ago, know that simply getting the victory in that opening match provides so much more breathing space. They got the job done. Now, the remaining 2 fixtures for both of these managers and their players as they try to get out of Group B and into the knockout stage of the AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023.
No, lots to do for both teams. I mean, you look at the finishing from Australia, it wasn't good enough, wasn't up to speed. So the subs coming on, getting the goals, that's going to be a big thing. Gives Graham a headache. Who does he pick for the next game to start in the 11? And you turned around and you look at that Indian performance. Let's take it as two halves. That first half was magnificent. All absolute warriors. And it's one little mistake that's cost India getting something from the game. So you turn around and you look at the overall balance of the game. Yes, it was Australia's, but they should have won by a lot more.
And that is that at the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium in Araim. A win for Australia by 2-0 over India. They get 3 points and move to the top of Group B.